Welcome back. In this lecture, you are going to understand how to write basic Dataweave expressions, how to add sample data, how to configure input metadata, how to externalize the Dataweave code to DWL files, and importantly, creating functions and variables. So mostly if you have been working with Dataweave, you might be mostly knowing this, but I suggest you to see this video at 1.5x speed or 2x speed. Don't skip this video, you'll learn a lot of things. Okay, so let me start. So I'll be working on this Dataweave basic start only. I'll create a new configuration file, basics. Okay. So here I'll drag and drop a listener into the flow, and I'll configure this listener with global configuration using defaults, and I'll give the path as a /transform. Now I'm expecting a HTTP request with some JSON data. I wanted to transform it to XML or Java. So once I get the data, I'll do the transformations. I'll drag and drop the transform message component. So I'm expecting data coming as part of HTTP post request, and I know that the data will look like this in my sample data. I have some sample data in SRC main resources. Better I'll copy paste from here. I have some sample XMLs. So we'll just copy the next thing. Okay, product.json. So I'll copy this product.json to the start project SRC main resources. So in SRC main resources, I have a sample file product.json. So I'm expecting a JSON like this to come as an input, and I want to transform this to XML and Java. So if you know Dataweave, if you have worked with it already, you know how to configure input data, metadata. I'll quickly do the same thing. I'll maximize this. See here in the input section, there is define metadata. I'll click on it. So I can define a metadata. I'll click on add. I'll just give the ID as product JSON. Okay. Then here I'll select the type as JSON. I have an example, so I'll select example and I'll point it to an example which I have in SRC main resources. Here I have. So once I give the example, it automatically calculate the metadata structure and give it select. So on the left side, you should see the metadata. Yes. So you can see this is a payload. It has product ID, name, description, original price, etc. Right? Now I want to write my expression based on this. So if I right click on this payload and say edit sample data, it will show me the same sample data. Actually, once I give some sample data, it will be stored here in SRC test resources, sample data. Here there will be JSON.json. This is nothing but the sample data. This is only for testing purpose and previewing purpose. So that is the reason why it will be in SRC test resources. Now you understood how to actually set the input metadata and also give the sample data. Now I want to write an expression based on this. So empty braces is nothing but a map. I want the output to be in JSON format initially. Now in the output JSON, I want a key called as PID colon. I want the value of this product ID from the payload. So I can just use payload dot product ID. So now you can see this output. I also wanted to add product name. So p name I'll say colon on the right side I'll write payload dot name. Okay, then I also wanted uh, discount percentage which is there inside the offer. So I'll write here comma discount percentage colon. How to retrieve that which is nested? What I can do is simply I can say payload dot offer dot discount percentage, right? So I got it. Then I have images is of type array. So see here what I'm going to do, very simple. I'll write comma image 1. I want to get only image 1, img1. I'll say how to access only the first element of the array. Very simple, payload dot images is an array and you can access first element by using of 0. So this is how I have written. Now on the left side I have a JSON. I've converted to JSON in this format. Now how to convert it to XML? I'll make the output as XML. Now I got two issues found. Right, there's an issue. Actually, whenever you're trying to write an XML, every XML will have a root tag. There is no root tag here. I gave key value page, right? So I'll just cut all this. Now this is an empty map again. What I'll do is I will give a root tag product colon. See now the root tag is product. Inside that I'll paste. Inside that whatever key value page I have given, they became the tag name and the tag value, right? So you understood how to do it. Now how to write a nested tag? I want this discount percentage to be inside offer only. So I'll delete this. I'll write offer colon again curly braces. Oh, here comma is missing. Yeah. See now I have got an empty offer tag. And inside that I'll write a key value page, so I'll get a nested tag, right? So I got inside offer, I got the nested tag discount percentage. Okay. Now how to write attributes? I want PID to be an attribute of product. So what I can do is here I can just go to product tag. Here I'll write at and parenthesis. Here I'll write key value pair. This is how you can write an attribute when you're writing an XML, at and key value pair like this. This is the syntax. Now we have written some XML. We have written some Dataweave expression. If I see the XML configuration XML, the whole Dataweave expression is inline in XML. It will be difficult to read this XML when the XML becomes very big. So it's always a best practice to externalize your Dataweave expression to an external DWL file. How to do it? Very simple. I'll select this transform message. Now, here you can observe that whatever expression we wrote will be as part of payload. And now I'll click on this edit icon here for editing the current target. You can see that the current target is inline. I want this expression to be written to an externalized file. I can select file and I can say product XML as a file name. Okay. Now let us see the XML once more. You can see that inside EE colon transform set payload is pointing to product xml.dwl. It is automatically created in src main resources. This is the DWL file. So now what I did, I wrote my DWL expression, Dataweave expression inside a separate DWL file, and in my XML I am pointing it. But the output of this DWL file, once it is evaluated, it will be set as payload. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to evaluate some expression and set a variable. Take an example. I want to set a variable called as product name by extracting payload.name. So what I can do is I can click on add a new target, this icon. So what target you want? I want a variable, and variable name is, I'll say p name, and I want whatever expression I'm going to write should be written to a file with name say pname.dwl. Okay. Now here you can see in the drop down payload is a variable. If I select payload, you will see the earlier expression. The output of this expression will be set as payload. If I select this, I can write an expression right now. I'll say payload dot name. So this expression will be evaluated and it will be set as a variable with name p name, right? So like that, I can create n number of variables. Suppose if I want to store discount percentage also, I'll select again discount, and I'll write the file name is dp discount percentage. So here I'll write the expression payload dot offer dot discount percentage. So this expression will be evaluated and it will be stored as a variable discount. Now I want you to observe that these DWL files are created here in SRC main resources, and if you see the XML, it is very neat and clean. Set payload is called and then set variables are called. And remember, the order of setting payload and variables we cannot determine. The expressions in this DWL files will be evaluated concurrently. Don't depend upon the order of these variables. Okay, that should be very clear. Dataweave does not guarantee in which order are this executed. Okay. Now we have configured basic Dataweave expression. Okay. Now let us understand some simple things. Actually, when this left side JSON is converted to right side XML, in the XML I'm having discount percentage, and here in the input there is something also called as offer price. Let me show you here. Original price is there, right? Let me emit this as well here. Original price, and I'll say payload dot original price. Right. So let me check if what is the error. Comma is missing. Yes. Okay. Now what I want is I have original price and discount percentage. I want to calculate the offer price. So if the original price is 1000 and discount percentage is 25, what will be the offer price? 750, right? So I need to calculate it and I want to actually emit offer price. So if you want some computation to be done, you can write a function. How to write a function? So in the headers part, what I can do is I can write fun. I can write a function with name get offer price. I want this function to take two arguments, the price and the discount percentage. So I'm defining a function which will take two arguments, and what it should return, I want it to return is equals to price into discount percentage into price into what I can do is to calculate I can say 100 minus discount percentage by 100. This will give the value, right? So here I have some formula where it is calculating the offer price by using this two arguments. So this is how we can define a function with two arguments, right? Now instead of having discount percentage here, I'll delete that. Now the offer is empty. I want to write offer price. So slash slash is a comment. Okay, offer price. I want to call this function. So very simple to call. Get control space. If I give, it is showing the function. I have to pass a price. What is that? Payload dot original price. Second is discount percentage. So I have to pass payload dot offer dot discount percentage. See, I'm calling this function by passing two arguments, and here I got 750, the return value of this function. So that's how we can write a function. And remember, I told you that Dataweave is a functional programming language. We can actually create a variable pointing to a function also. So let me show you how to define a function as a variable. Okay, very simple. You need to understand this syntax carefully. I can create a variable where I'll say v get offer price. I'm using some conventions, variable name starting with v, it's up to you, is equals to, I want to initialize this variable with a function which is taking two arguments. So this is very important basic thing. Now whatever I'm telling, please try to habituate this syntax. Normally as an object oriented developer you might not have written this syntax, but now see here, I want the variable to point to a function which is taking two arguments. So I'll give price comma discount percentage. And now whenever you are creating a function like this, is there a name to the function? Now I define only arguments, right? This is an anonymous function. Whenever you are giving an anonymous function, you have to use a syntax, arrow syntax. Then here I can give whatever I want the anonymous function to return. So here what I did is I defined an anonymous function which is returning this value, and I'm pointing it in a variable. Now how to use that? It is just like how we use normal functions. So I can use it like this, right? So output is same. So whenever you are defining a function, either you can use this syntax or you can use this syntax. If you are a developer who have done functional programming, you might be familiar with this syntax. Don't worry, if you are totally new also, from now onwards I'll start using this, you'll get much familiar. Now one more thing I want to tell you. Actually in Dataweave I created this variable, right? These are the variables in Dataweave. Whatever I created here, pname and discount, these are the variables present in the mule event of your flow. These variables are not Dataweave variables. Remember that difference carefully. Okay. Now I want to show you by debugging it whether the variables are created and populated properly or not. So I dragged and dropped a logger, and here I can write a Dataweave expression by switching here, and I'll just write payload simply. Now I'll keep a breakpoint here by right clicking on this and toggle breakpoint. Now I'll start this in debug mode. Let us see. Save it. Okay, let us see and wait. Okay, it started and it's asking me to switch to debug perspective. I'll click on yes. Yes. Now I need to post. I need to make a post request and post the JSON like this, right? So I'll use postman. So I'll open my postman. Okay, I'll give a request to post request to localhost 8081 slash transform is what I gave, and I want to send in body raw, and I'll select JSON and I'll paste the JSON. Now let me give a request. Yes, the request went, and it's asking me to switch to debug perspective. Here is a breakpoint. Now once you see the breakpoint, let me show you here. Once the control is here after the transform message component, you can see there are two variables. One is discount and another is pname. Is it? So in your transform message component, if you remember, you have configured it to create two variables. And this is the payload. If I click on payload, this is the XML payload, right? So now you understood how transform message is creating variables, payload, etc. Right. I will stop this. I'll switch back to normal perspective. So fine, we have understood some basics of Dataweave. In next lecture, I'll show you how to externalize these functions into a separate Dataweave modules. Now what you can do is you can open this document given to you in LabDocs PDF. You can open this Dataweave basics document and you can complete up to a section wherever I'm telling right now. Just wait. Yes, you can complete up to this part. So next part, once I complete my next video, you can do the exercise about the next part. I'll see you next video.